This is OP!
We made a build using the coming calamity, and we're taking advantage of the triple heralds, the frost, lightning, and fire damage to blow everything up. We're using galvanic shards like a shotgun to hit everything at once to blow them up. Really OP for clearing breaches. And then when you get to the bosses, we've got plasma blast and stack and crit on that with our secondary weapon slot. And if everything lines up, it actually one-shots the bosses. We're also using Headhunter just because you're clearing big breach maps and there's a lot of rares and you just start blowing up and jumping around everywhere. It does kill you sometimes though. You don't really have to use it. You can get a lot more defenses, a lot more resistances if you don't run it, but it's addicting, but you definitely die a lot more often. It's one of the best uniques for sure. So really the whole core of the build comes from the coming calamity, because the idea is you get all 3 elemental heralds without spending any spirit at all. And then I'm actually using that spirit to run this trinity. I couldn't really think of anything better. It did add a lot of damage though. It's because you're using all 3 elements, but I can only seem to max 2 elements on it. But I tried to make the whole thing surrounding the coming calamity, and then I already had a headhunter laying around, so I chucked that on and it was pretty sick. But you don't need to use the headhunter. But we'll just quickly go through the actual skills we're using. We got Sorcery Ward from the Ascendancy. We got the Witch Hunter. Sorcery Ward, can't really stack it properly like we would, because Coming Calamity is taken away a lot of your evasion and armor. You get a little bit, but it's hardly anything, so you're going to be super squishy with this build. They're only really getting it from your helmet and your boots. But you do still get, I'm getting 1,175 shield from that, which is good, so it adds a tiny bit of tankiness. And then the heralds, because it's coming from the chest piece, you can't actually add quality to them. And if you want a level 21, it's super expensive. But I'm just running all 3 heralds. Herald of Ash, all I have is Fire Mastery. I'm not really doing that much of Herald of Ash. Sometimes it does a bit, but main focus is a Herald of Ice and Thunder. All my damage is coming from lightning because I'm using Galvanic Shards. Our main attack, Galvanic Shards here. And so that's already shocking, which is going to trigger the Herald of Thunder. But then we're having trouble getting Herald of Ice to go, and the way I fix that is just trying to stack as much cold damage to attack. So my rings, they're proper stacked, but cold damage to attack is probably what I'd prioritize. If you couldn't afford all 3 attack modifiers, I'd just go cold damage and lightning. It'd be a lot cheaper just to do those 2, but cold damage super important. And then I also added onto my Galvanic Shards lightning attunement, thrill of the kill 2, this adding more shock chance, and attacks gain 25% of damage as lightning damage for 8 seconds after you cull an enemy. And because of our Witch Hunter Ascendancy, we're always culling enemies, so this, you don't need cull, it's just automatically going off, which is really good. This here, Ratha's Assault, unique support gem, is super important. So if you didn't know, Galvanic Shards now only has 1 shot in the chamber. It's just like the default. And then you got to reload after every shot, and you're wasting a lot of skill points on reload speed. But if you get this support gem, the Ratha's Assault, every time you dodge roll, it puts 5 in the chamber. And because you're clearing maps quick, you like spam your 5 shots, dodge over here, spam your 5 shots, and it's really good. It just makes you have a lot more ammo to work with, and only takes 1 support gem, so we just ran with that. And then we just got Elemental Armament, 25% more elemental damage, and because you're doing a lot of elemental damage, that's good. And this here, I added because we weren't really freezing much, and this really changed it. Any extra damage you would gain on Galvanic Shards, it changes to gain that extra damage as cold. So all my Galvanic Shards bonus damage here coming out as cold, so we're just insta-freezing everything. And then if that didn't work, just in case, also added this unique jewel here. It did cost a little bit if I'm remembering right, but gain 10% of damage as extra cold damage, so that just filled in the rest of that, so that was really good. But you probably don't even need it, to be honest. And then to add even more cold damage, on our Herald of Thunder, I've slotted in cold attunement, so this is nerfing the damage of Herald of Thunder by a fair bit. Yeah, you can see it gains over 1,500. Oh, about 1,500 something damage there. when you take it off, but then the AoE from the Herald of Thunder is contributing to the cold damage, so you get your Herald of Thunder after you kill your first shocked enemy. But yeah, and then on the Herald of Ice, I've just got Magnified Area 2, Elemental Armament, Concentrated Area. I wasn't sure if this is the best. It does make the explosions a little bit smaller, a bit more damage. I almost feel like it's better to just have the bigger explosion because it's already doing 28k damage. So you might want to take that off just to blow up bigger screen. And then just plus level the cold gems on there as well. Yeah. Herald of Ash only has the Fire Mastery to plus all the Fire Gems. We come down to Plasma Blast. This is how you're going to do all your boss damage, or the one shot. Most bosses, like if I put the maps on tier 15 and I don't have the Atlas fully leveled up, it always one shots. But if I add like say 3 levels to the bosses, it one shots maybe 60% of the time, I think. Or depends on the boss and if the crit goes off, so it does still one shot all the time, but as soon as I start adding like the 4th mod, it really starts to take like 2, 3, sometimes even 4 shots. I feel it just depends if you get unlucky on the crit chance. A lot of this damage is riding off the crit chance. If you come in here, you can see it's in at 1 million DPS right now, 1,090,000. Not DPS, damage per shot. And you go in a map, you get your Trinity up, you get some Headhunter stacks or some shrines, and that just absolutely skyrockets. But yeah, we've got Elemental Armament 2 on that support. Elemental Focus. This stops it from inflicting ailments. Because we're one-shotting, I didn't think inflicting ailments really mattered. So I got that like that. It's got a 2-second base channeling time. It actually takes a little bit longer than that because your attack speed as well. So this adds another 40% damage, which is good. Ambrosia adds a fair bit, just absolutely sucks your mana away though. You can only shoot once per like your whole mana pool pretty much, it seems. And then the inexorable critical is quite important because my crit chance, even with this on, is only 35%. So, and then yeah, obviously the Trinity. I only have Cold Mastery in there. We don't have any Spirit to spare. You could get Spirit on your amulet and add some extras on there, but that's all I've got on there right now. But it's not bad. It just adds a fair bit of damage. I don't seem to get the 17% increased skill speed because I don't think I'm stacking all 3 elements. It only seems to actually stack the 2. I don't think I'm doing any fire damage that's triggering it properly. But yeah, that's all the skills really. But yeah, we're just focusing on getting these free heralds for free. So that's a lot of free spirit and then just a bit of free damage. So when I come over to the gear, the first thing I was thinking was we need levels. So the first thing I searched straight away on the crossbows, leveled to all projectile skills. We're obviously looking for high damage. Cold damage helps a lot with the freezing that we were struggling with at first for the Ice Herald. And then, yeah, critical damage, if you could get critical hit chance on as well, like we have right here, that costs way more though. So yeah, I've got a higher damage, like natural DPS crossbow on the Galvanic shards because the crit chance on my Galvanic shards is already so low. And then I feel like if I'm only hitting that once in like every say 5 or 6 shots, I'm better off just having a better average DPS, I feel. So I just went for the crossbow of the higher DPS, less crit chance for the Galvanic shards. And then obviously for the plasma burst, you want a crit to be able to one-shot the boss, so I added the crit chance. I had to get lower DPS though, because it starts getting insanely expensive once you add crit chance to it, and the 7 levels of all projectile skills. But yeah, just like everything in Path of Exile, I feel like the projectile skills really scales a lot of stuff. And that's where we come over to the helmet actually, because right now I'm just running a high evasion and armor helmet. Add a little, you get a few attributes and stuff. You can get some resistances. I got lightning res. You sort of just want to make up your lightning res wherever you can on your helmet and rings and amulet, a bit on your boots. But I just went high armor and evasion there. But what you can do, because we're already so squishy, you can actually use, I hate to use this because it's such a meta hungry item, but the Vertex Tribal Mask, you +3 or +4 levels to all skills. And I'll show you now. You equip that, look at the DPS jump. You go from 414 on the Plasma Blast straight to 517 just from the 3 levels. You don't get that much on the Galvanic Shards. I mean, you get a fair bit. But yeah, you become extremely squishy when you're using that. It's mainly because you're losing a lot of sorcery ward. It doesn't show me losing it here, but when I go into a map, I lose it. So I'm thinking it's just bugged to not update in live time. But yeah, you can always get a lot more damage from added skill levels, like everything does. Then you come to your amulet. You got your 3 level of projectile skills is again the most important thing on there, because levels of skills seems to be the most important thing for everything. I haven't actually anointed this amulet yet. I do have a couple ideas. First thing I was thinking is Wild Storm. Could anoint Wild Storm over here, so you just gain 8% extra damage overall, a bit of dexterity, but you get more cold damage and more lightning damage, which I thought was actually pretty important. I mean, I added the cold and lightning. I mean, that's what we're doing. The cold adds a lot, though. It always adds a lot. But yeah, then I was just trying to stack a bit of armor and evasion on the amulet. I mean, these amulets do get expensive too. I was just trying to go for a bit more defensive on there. I got pretty good though. I think I rolled this one myself and I just corrupted and prayed, but I got leech physical damage as mana. Helps a tiny bit, because we do a little bit of physical damage, I'm pretty sure, if we look at Galvanic. Yeah, we're still doing 40% of the physical damage we have on the crossbow, which is not bad. And then you come down to rings. I am just trying to roll the highest possible damage to attacks on here, whilst keeping a little bit of resistances. I actually got really good here, like, both of them are pretty good. But yeah, you can go triples, but if you can't afford triples, I'd just go the double with the cold and lightning are probably the most important ones. So I'd just go cold and lightning if that's all you can afford. That's what I got here, because I needed more res, and these were the only ones that didn't cost 5 million divine. Filling up a few resistances just on the slots of stuff if I really need resistances on my body armor here. You corrupt that as well and got 18 chaos res, which was really good. My chaos res actually sitting at 69%, which is crazy because I wasn't actually trying for chaos res much on this. But if you come to the boots, always focus on movement speed. We're trying to clear maps fast. We got 30% base on there. As soon as you start looking at 35%, they get super expensive, and I feel like you can get much better stat boosts when it comes to like evasion and armor if you just give up 5% movement speed and you just try to be a bit tanky. I mean, you're not really going to notice 5% that much, but you can see a big difference in this with the 35% because I put the 5% rune in there. Obviously corrupted this, got a little lucky, so we added a bit more armor and evasion. Then you got the headhunter, you go to the gloves. These gloves I rolled myself and they were actually crazy. We got the triple damage on there. Only thing we're missing is attack speed, but we got some good res because we got, yeah, what, we got 11. We added socketed 11 in because we got the double slot on the corruption and a bit of physical damage as well. But you're just doing the same thing here. You're looking for damages and attack speed. That's all that really matters. We come down to charms. Everyone knows all the good unique charms cost about 5 million divine as well. So I'm just sort of sticking to what I could afford here. We got the grants onslaught during effect. This is only like 40x, so it wasn't too bad. Yeah, your speed is unaffected by slows. Onslaught's really good as well. 20% increased skill speed and 10% increased movement speed is sort of crazy. And then we do have a bit of armor, and this makes you immune to stun. Our armor, it helps a little bit, so we got that as well. So you get 200% of armor during stun effect. We're using the Lavianga Spirit's mana flask. This is a unique mana flask that is just constantly regenerating you a bit of mana, and we're using that because we got this here, 40% increased elemental damage with attacks skills during any flask effect, and because that's always buffing you. You can get other stuff as well, which is arguably would have been better to path to. 16% increased attack speed during flask effect. I might even swap to that. I feel like that could be a lot better than some other stuff we got. Like, if we're not struggling to freeze anymore, we could get rid of this freeze build-up tree and start moving down there. That'd be very good. But we'll start with the ascendancy here. I've got the sorcery ward. I'm not fully ascended, so you could go one more to upgrade your sorcery ward to block the physical and chaos damage from hits. So The 1000 block does help a lot. I noticed before and after it started saving me heaps. Then we go up to the left here on the Witch Hunt. This is a Witch Hunter Ascendancy. But Culling Strike, we got Culling Strike, which is super OP for this explosion and clearing we're doing, because you're culling everything. And then Decimating Strike helps a lot, because you run up to a pack, you shoot, half the time you're instantly removing 30% of life from the first mob, and all you have to do really is kill one mob, and everything starts blowing up. So I think that's the best, honestly. I wasn't really sure about the rest of these. Did think about doing this though. Make even more explosions, 10% chance to explode, could be good. Oh yeah, we just come down here. We mainly focusing on damage. This is like the only armor evasion thing we got, so that's mainly why we're so squishy as well, not just the chest piece. But you got some big stuff here. Bit of reduced attack damage, but more projectile damage. We're all scaling off projectile damage, critical hit chance for attacks. We're looking a decent amount for crit, and because we're running the triple heralds, we're also going for these herald skills here, add a lot of damage and stuff to them. Increase area of effects, it's really good. Increased area of effect for attacks per enemy using ignited in the last 8 seconds. Now, I know Herald of Ash ignites, but I'm not sure if this has been working. I haven't been able to really tell if it's been working. But I have 2 weapon sets. So, weapon set 1. Yeah, weapon set 1 focuses a lot more on the heralds. You can see these are all weapon set 1s. And then, because once we go into the boss fight, which is weapon set 2 with my plasma blast, it goes pure crit. We add a little bit of extra crit stuff. We do increased damage against unique mobs and mobs that are in full life to try one shot. But there's nothing all that special on here to explain really. But yeah, we're just trying to weapon set 2 is all single target damage. And then weapon set 1 is all AoE burst damage. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole build. We just found a random unique. I was just reading through the unique list we seen Common Calamity. I chose a random class and we made it work, and it seemed to work really well. We absolutely slapped up on it.
My name is Endodingus.
Really? Anger Dingus?
Anger Dingus.